No one expected that the second floor of the cave dwelling was not a treasure vault, but a place where a demon god was worshipped, chilling one to the bone. Continuing from the previous 174, excitement surged through the group, but they were all too seasoned and too dangerous to let greed make the first move. They entered, carefully studying each treasure in silence. 3 shelves of treasures stood in neat rows at the center of the first floor, fully exposed to everyone present. The first shelf held 16 dazzling ancient and magic treasures. The second displayed rare materials of various shapes and sizes, chunks of metal, crystals stained blood red, and other exotic substances. The third shelf was the sparsest, containing only a few small bottles that clearly held medicinal pills. Hanley swept his gaze over them, his expression calm and unreadable. The others appeared equally composed, yet no one dared touch the items. They merely assessed the treasures with their eyes, each harboring private calculations. Moments later, Marquis Nanlong stepped forward to inspect the collection on everyone's behalf. The rest engaged in polite discussion about the treasure's origins and uses, though their true thoughts remained concealed. Hanley glanced around the room, aside from the shelves. He noticed a meditation mat and a small emerald green plant by the window. His interest stirred, just as he moved to approach them. The white-robed old man appeared in a blur before the mat, casually sweeping it into his hand for inspection. Hanley frowned and instead walked to the plant by the window, examining it closely. A gentle voice spoke from behind him, his senior hand interested in the yin focus herb, though rare. It is an excellent ingredient for refining yin-type pills and enhances medicinal potency without side effects. Hanley turned slowly to see Yan Ruyan smiling at him. The yin focus herb reaches peak efficacy at 100 years. Hanlei replied evenly. Beyond that, it loses its value. He briefly scanned the room. Wang Chan was whispering excitedly to Wang Tiangu, paying no attention to Yan Ruyan's actions. Her eyes brightened. I didn't expect Senior Han to be knowledgeable not only in formations, but also in pill refinement. Truly admirable. Her eagerness put Hanlei on guard. I know only the basics, but fellow Taoist Yan, are you not concerned? Your husband may resent you for speaking with me. Her smile faded slightly. I know our circumstances. Still, I hope to ease the hostility between you and my husband. Hanlei gave a cold chuckle. The Heavenly Tao Alliance and the Devil, Tao, have always been enemies. There is nothing to ease. Before she could respond, Marquis Nanlong called out, Fellow Taoists, we will first divide the treasures of this floor. Hanlei turned away without another word. Yan Ruyan hesitated briefly, then followed. The distribution proceeded efficiently. 6 ancient treasures, 10 magic treasures, and several shares of materials and pills were divided by value. Those who chose ancient treasures forfeited magic ones, and vice versa. Hanlei selected an ancient treasure, a bamboo tube, along with a share of pills and materials, storing them without much thought. The meditation mat and yin focus herb were ignored. After a final sweep of the first floor, the group ascended to the second. The moment they arrived, incense filled the air. At the top of the stairs stood a small shrine bearing a golden statue of a ferocious, single-horned demon with 6 raised arms, its expression lifelike and menacing. Before it burned a crimson cauldron-white smoke curling upward. Everyone was shaken. None had expected Cancun to enshrine a demon. Hanlei's heart, however, lurched. The statue was identical to the demon depicted in the Sacred Provenance plate. Same glare, same 6 arms. He quickly surveyed the room. Nearby stood a simple desk and chair brushes and bamboo slips neatly arranged. Opposite the shrine lay a blue jade bed, radiating frigid energy as though carved from glacial ice. 3 jade boxes rested atop it, immediately drawing the eye. This was clearly Cancun's private chamber. A white blur flashed. The white-robed old man had already appeared beside the bed and seized one of the jade boxes. Stop. Another figure materialized instantly, a hand wreathed in black light, striking toward the old man's back. The old man withdrew just in time, narrowly avoiding the attack. His face darkened as he glared at his assailant. "What are you doing?" he snarled. "Do you wish to fight me?" The attacker, robes fluttering, was Wang Tiangu. "Brother Yun, there's no need to be so hasty," Wang Tiangu said calmly. "I merely wish to confirm whether you intended to use your priority on this jade box and forfeit any claim to the other items." The white-robed old man quickly regained his composure, though his glare remained sharp. "Of course I want to look inside first. Why would I choose it otherwise?" Wang Tiangu showed no fear. His gaze shifted to the 3 jade boxes on the bed. "If I recall correctly, the agreement was that you two would take first pick, and the rest would be divided evenly. But once these boxes are taken, will there truly be anything left to divide?" Marquis Nanlong stepped forward, standing beside the old man. His expression darkened as his eyes swept coldly over the ghost spirit sect cultivators. What are you implying, fellow Taoist Wang? Are you planning to break our agreement? Wang Tiangu smiled faintly. Not at all, but the second floor contains very few items. These jade boxes cannot be probed with spiritual sense. They are likely the most valuable treasures here. Perhaps they even contain Master Kang Kun's cultivation techniques, or the secret of Devilfall Valley itself. Under such circumstances, is it really reasonable for you to inspect their contents before choosing? The white-robed old man snorted. Unreasonable. You personally agreed to our priority. If there aren't enough items left, that is not our concern. Unexpectedly, the old woman spoke in support of Wang Tiangu. That isn't quite right. You may have first pick, but not the right to inspect the contents beforehand. If you're uncertain, you can choose another item. For example, this glacial jade bed, an extremely rare treasure. For cultivators of yin ice techniques, its value is immeasurable. Marquis Nanlong's expression turned grim. A surge of oppressive aura erupted from him, forcing Wang Tiangu and the old woman to retreat a step. At the nascent soul stage, even a single realm difference was no small matter. Marquis Nanlong narrowed his eyes, his gaze sharp as a blade. If anyone truly believes fellow Taoist Wang's argument is reasonable, step forward. For Brother Wang to act so boldly, Madame Tai alone cannot be his only support. Silence followed. Then the Tan cultivator spoke evenly. There's no need for anger, Marquis Nanlong. Brother Wang's words aren't without merit. You can't simply leave us with scraps. The stern-faced cultivator hesitated briefly, then stepped behind Wang Tiangu as well, seemingly forgetting their previous hostility. In an instant, the two sides stood opposed everyone except Han Li. Marquis Nanlong and the white-robed old man both stiffened. Marquis Nanlong quickly regained his composure. So, you formed an alliance in advance. When did this happen? You shouldn't have had the opportunity on the way here. Wang Tiangu replied casually. Such alliances aren't formed on impulse. We met before, setting out and discussed contingencies. This was one of the situations we anticipated. Unfortunately, it seems we now stand opposed to fellow Taoists Nanlong and Yun. Marquis Nanlong's gaze turned icy. He looked to Han Li. Fellow Taoist, Han, what is your decision? 2 mid-nascent soul cultivators now faced 4 early nascent soul cultivators, and 2 late core formation cultivators. The balance hinged entirely on Han Li. Han Li did not answer immediately. He calmly studied Wang Tiangu's group. Wang Tiangu met his gaze with a relaxed smile, betraying no concern. Wang Chan looked excited while Yan Ruyan seemed confused, clearly unaware of the alliance. Lady Tai and the stern-faced cultivator remained expressionless. Han Li's heart tightened. Something felt deeply wrong. He took a few steps back from both sides and smiled faintly. I have no opinion. Whatever decision fellow Taoist Wang or Brother Nanlong makes, I will not oppose it. Marquis Nanlong was unsurprised. He nodded slightly, then turned back toward Wang Tiangu, a cold smile forming. But before he could speak, the white-robed old man suddenly stepped forward. Brother Nanlong, why waste words with them? He said icily. Do they truly believe they can defeat us by joining hands, delusional? He opened his mouth and spat out a gleaming silver wheel. Fellow Taoist Yun, wait, Marquise, Nanlong exclaimed, reaching out too late. A dull pang rang out. Under Marquis Nanlong's stunned gaze, the silver wheel tore through his golden protective light and slammed into his chest, forcing him back several steps. A deep depression formed in his armor. Furious and shocked, Marquis Nanlong flicked his sleeve, launching a small golden blade toward the old man. But the old man blurred and appeared beside Wang Tiangu, raising his hand to command the silver wheel. It blocked the golden blade with ease. His gaze flicked to Marquis Nanlong's chest. Beneath the torn robes lay a layer of shimmering azure armor, dented but intact. Azure rhino armor, the old man muttered coldly. As expected. Marquis Nanlong's face flushed dark red as he clutched his chest. Good, very good. I never imagined you'd sell yourself to them. Though the dazzling light obscured details, it was clear he was badly injured. The old man ignored him completely. Fellow Taoists, be cautious. Do not let him escape. With his cultivation leaving him alive would invite endless trouble. The stern-faced cultivator smiled darkly. Don't worry, with our numbers and his injuries, escape is impossible. He spat out a hazy white flying saber. Wang Tiangu then turned to Han Li, smiling warmly. Fellow Taoist, Han, if you help us deal with him, you'll receive a share of his treasures. What do you say? The sudden betrayal left Han Li shaken. His expression changed as his gaze flicked instinctively toward the staircase. At some point, the old woman had already sealed the exit. White light shimmered across the pavilion walls, powerful restrictions were in place. Escape was impossible. Han Li did not trust Wang Tiangu's offer for a moment. If Marquis Nanlong fell, Han Li would be next. Had they truly wanted his help, they would have approached him earlier. From the beginning, it was likely planned that he would die alongside Marquis Nanlong. Still, Han Li kept his expression calm, preparing to feign agreement. Before he could speak, Marquis Nanlong let out a cold laugh. "Fellow Taoist, Han, surely you don't believe such a crude trick. I don't know how Wang Tiangu persuaded them, even my 100-year companion, but if we join forces, there is still a chance to survive. If we fall one by one, death is certain." As Marquis Nanlong spoke, he brushed his hand across his chest. A pulse of soft white light spread outward, and the dent in his armor visibly smoothed out. Wang Tiangu and the others were startled, but the white-robed old man spoke calmly. "There's no need for concern. He's only using a secret technique to temporarily suppress his injuries. The damage remains. Still, together with that youngster Han, he'll be troublesome. Have someone hold Han Li in place. Kill Marquis Nanlong first." With that, the old man unhurriedly pointed the silver wheel before him. It shot upward, transforming into a streak of silver light above his head. White mist spread around his body, blurring his figure. Given the deep hatred between him and Marquis Nanlong, he had no intention of holding back. Wang Tiangu frowned, then nodded. Turning to the stern-faced cultivator, he ordered, "Brother Long, occupy that youngster for now. There's no need to kill him immediately, just keep him pinned. Once Marquis Nanlong is dealt with, we'll finish him together." He then shot Han Li an icy glance, no longer concealing his killing intent. Black radiance surged from his body, rising nearly a meter high and shrouding him in darkness. Seeing this, the old woman and the tan cultivator each spat out their magic tools, preparing for battle. The stern-faced cultivator chuckled softly and slipped a milky white jade scepter from his sleeve. Taking several steps forward, he smiled cryptically at Han Li. "No problem, I'll handle fellow Taoist Han." In his view, restraining a newly advanced nascent soul cultivator was trivial and far safer than confronting a mid-nascent soul opponent. Han Li stared back without moving, but when he noticed the old woman had left the stairway unguarded, his heart began to pound. His fingers tightened around the ancient treasure hidden in his sleeve. At that moment, Marquis Nanlong swept his sleeve, releasing a cloud of golden light that pulled all 3 jade boxes from the bed into his grasp. "Catch!" Without hesitation, he tossed one jade box toward Han Li. The action stunned everyone. No one even attempted to stop it. Han Li caught the box, instinctively, momentarily taken aback. With his hands clasped behind his back, Marquis Nanlong said calmly, "Since fellow Taoist refuses to follow their despicable scheme, I'll give you this jade box. If it truly contains the secrets of Devilfall Valley and you manage to survive, consider it a matter of fate." Expressions shifted instantly. Han Li glanced at the jade box in his hand and unconsciously licked his lips. Inside, he wanted to laugh aloud, but with iron discipline, he kept his face composed. The treasure everyone coveted had fallen straight into his hands. The irony was exquisite. Of course, Marquis Nanlong wasn't acting out of generosity. Knowing the others were fixated on the jade boxes, he had deliberately tossed one to Han Li to divert their attention and create an opening for escape. It was a ruthless yet decisive move, abandoning a priceless treasure without hesitation. And now that it rested in his hands, Han Li could only laugh inwardly. Without delay, he flipped his wrist and stored the jade box in his storage pouch. Wang Tiangu's expression darkened. After a brief pause, he decisively ordered, "Choner, assist fellow Taoist Long along with Ruyan. Do not let that youngster escape. The rest of us are more than enough for Marquis Nanlong." He remained calm, his reason unclouded by greed. In his mind, Han Li could be dealt with later. The others were tempted, but they all understood. Once Marquis Nanlong was dead, Han Li would have nowhere to run. "Yes," second Uncle Wang Chan replied eagerly, malice flashing in his eyes. He beckoned Yan Ruyan and advanced toward Han Li. A flicker of complexity crossed Yan Ruyan's face, but she followed silently. Han Li calmly watched the two approach, his expression unchanged. To him, the situation was almost laughable. Though weapons were drawn, no one rushed to strike. This hesitation had nothing to do with mercy, it was fear. A cornered mid-nascent soul cultivator was most dangerous. Any one of them could be dragged down in mutual destruction. And since Marquis Nanlong's injuries would only worsen with time, patience favored Wang Tiangu's side. Yet strangely, Marquis Nanlong stood motionless, seemingly unconcerned. His complexion only grew redder, nearly blood-colored. This made the others even more wary, fearing he might unleash a final. Desperate technique, they kept their distance, watching him coldly. Meanwhile, the stern-faced cultivator did not rush Han Li. His task was merely to restrain him. Wang Chan, though eager to kill, lacked the strength to act alone. Thus, despite the suffocating killing intent, the pavilion remained eerily silent. Moments later, Han Li sighed softly. The sound, though faint, caught everyone's attention. Yet, aside from the stern-faced cultivator, no one truly focused on him. Wang Chan merely sneered. In their minds, Han Li could only act once Marquis Nanlong moved, perhaps using the chaos to flee. No one believed he would make a move now. Han Li slowly raised his hand, revealing a pitch-black object. Marquis Nanlong's pupils shrank. Before anyone could fully react, Han Li hurled it into the air. The object spun once, then instantly expanded to over 25 meters, transforming into a massive black mountain that slammed down between the opposing sides like an impenetrable wall. The stern-faced cultivator was startled, though he didn't recognize the treasure. His reaction was swift. He pointed the jade scepter forward. The scepter hummed loudly, erupting in white radiance. From the light emerged a gigantic white tiger, indistinct yet ferocious. The moment it appeared, it bared its fangs and fired a beam of blazing white light at the black mountain. A thunderous explosion rang out as the beam engulfed most of the mountain. Wang Chan reacted as well, forming incantation seals as crimson mist surged around him. A heavy stench of blood filled the air. Yan Ruyan followed suit, enveloped in crimson mist of her own, but instead of blood, it carried a strange fragrance that caused dizziness and mental disorientation. Seeing this, the stern-faced cultivator relaxed slightly. While urging the white tiger to unleash another beam, he slapped his storage pouch, summoning an inch-long pale blue gourd into his hand. Just as he prepared to activate it, a faint roll of thunder echoed. Alarmed, he instantly formed seals, erecting a dense barrier of light around himself. Almost simultaneously, a flash of silver lightning appeared beside him. Han Li emerged from the lightning's silver wings, spread wide behind his back. Yu, the stern-faced cultivator, was shocked, but his battle instincts kicked in. He raised the gourd and fired a dazzling bolt of blue lightning. Han Li did not dodge. Instead, he calmly opened his mouth and spat out a thin thread of blue flame. The flame pierced straight through the light barrier, as if it didn't exist. Shooting directly toward the stern-faced cultivator,